Hello everyone, Zellerant here, and for today's video on Umamusume, we're going to be talking about Seiun Sky and her ult, and why it's so good in comparison to other Uma's ults like Maru Zensky's. As I noticed in my video when I kind of covered her and talked about it, there was some confusion by people in the comments, kind of stating, why is hers better than Maru Zensky's? Because they both do the same thing and they both activate in the corner. And so that's what we're going to go ahead and talk about here. We're going to actually take a look at Maru Zensky's, we're going to take a look at Seiun Sky's, and kind of showcase why hers is so much better. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take a look at Maru Zensky's here, and this can be kind of compared to others like Taiki Shuttles as well. So one of the first things you'll see when you read it is increases acceleration by shifting gears when positioned towards the front on the final corner or later. The biggest thing is that she has as a big advantage on hers versus Seiun Sky's is hers requires them to be in 1st through 5th. She does not have to be in 1st place. And that's why some people think, well, why isn't hers better? You don't have to be in 1st place, so you can push off with this acceleration to take 1st, which is true. But when you actually read the conditions of it, and actually look at it here, her conditions are it has to be the final corner, and they have to be within 5th or higher in place. So they have to be in 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, or 1st place, and then it can activate. That's the only conditions around it. And so, final corner, within 5th place or higher. While Seiun Sky's, when you read it, increase acceleration at an opportune moment when in the lead on a corner late race. So you do have to be in 1st place, so it has a much harder condition there to activate it. But the other conditions are a little bit different. It's in a corner, but it's not the final corner. It just says a corner and late race. So the conditions for this one are, it's got to be phase greater than or equal to 2, or basically late race or later. It's got to be a corner, and you have to be in 1st place. So having to be in 1st place is worse, of course. But these two conditions right here are what make it so good. And we're going to take a look at the some races here to kind of show where they're going to activate on Maru Zensky and Seiun Sky. And so the first one I want to actually take a look at is going to be one that we've already done, which is going to be the Taurus Cup racetrack, which was the medium race. So if you remember, Maru Zensky's and Taiki Shuttles was good on this race. They were some of the best ones, alongside Let's Pump Some Iron from Majir Orion, if you had her at 3 stars from the Inherit. So when you kind of look at this racetrack, if I want to zoom in here a little bit better so you can see, ooh, that's a little too zoomed in there. But if we zoom in and take a look at it, let me get back to it, kind of drop me down here. Okay, so we have it. So the big thing is when they start to increase their top speed. So in the mid race, their top speed is limited. And then when you hit the late race, the blue here, that's when they start to accelerate towards the new top speed that is going to push them over the edge to win the race. And so you're wanting to activate your acceleration skill as early as possible in this point in time. So why Maru Zensky's and Taiki Shuttles was so good on the first race, the Taurus Cup, is this is the final corner right here. It activates right after the late race starts, where they're going to start needing that acceleration to get to their top speed. So they're very good here. But guess what? We didn't have Seiun Sky available at the time, but if she was, hers would actually still be better on this race than both of theirs, because her conditions are it has to be late race or later and on a corner, not the last corner. And so where hers activates is as soon as late race starts and it's a corner. And guess what? It's a corner. Now, the final corner is a little bit after. It's 33 meters after 800, which is when the late race starts. But you're still in a corner this entire time. So while Maru Zensky's and Taiki Shuttles activates on the 777 meters left point, we have Seiun Sky's actually activating as soon as you hit the late race, because it's on a corner. Because all she has to be is on a corner, not the last corner, and in the late race. So as soon as she hits the late race, boom, she can activate it right there, versus Maru Zensky taking a little bit later to actually take off. So right there on the first one, it's already better. We didn't have it available at the time, so, and Mruzinski's and Taiki Shuttles was just already good. It's not that much of a difference in distance, and they have not as strict conditions on 1st through 5th, so they were good here. But now let's take a look at some other races. Let's take a look at the next one coming up, the Cancer Cup, which is a mile distance. This one's going to have, this one's one where Seiun Skies is going to dominate, and Mruzinski's and Taiki Shuttles and theirs are going to actually be pretty bad. And so, remember, Mruzinski doesn't have anything tying it to the late race. It's just the final corner. And so, and you have to be in 1st through 5th. So Mruzinski's, as you can see, the final corner is actually right here at 777 meters left. It's basically the same race as the Taurus Cup, except you're starting here versus all the way down. Instead of starting here, we're starting right up here because it's the shorter race. So, same race, same corner, except the final corner is no longer the late race. So the late race originally on the medium started right here, right here, versus now it starts all the way down here. And so you're already going to be pretty much at your top speed as soon as you hit the final corner for the mid race. You want your acceleration to trigger right as you enter that late race right here on the blue. So Mruzinski's will activate right here, and you're going to waste all that acceleration getting nothing out of it here. It's already going to finish. The time's going to be up. And then you're going to hit this, and they're not going to have acceleration for the spurt. But Seiun Skies, as you remember, requires it to be corner and late race plus first place. And just, you might see here and think, oh, but it's a straight right here, right? Well, if you kind of zoom in again, it's kind of hard to see. Hopefully it doesn't drag me down. But as you can see, there's a little tiny bit. This little line right here is when the straight actually starts. So as the late race begins, you're technically still on the corner. So Seiun Skies will activate right here, right as the late race starts. And bam, she's going to take off at the most opportune time. And if you're in first place and trigger it, you're most likely going to win. That is why it is so good. Now, only one person can activate it. Whoever's in first place is the one that activates it. Everybody else can't. So if there's going to probably be a ton of front runners. And if you're not in first place, you don't get it. So right there is the time, and then you just push up and win the race with it. Very, very good. And this is basically why it's so good in most races, because if the late race starts on a corner, she's going to activate as late race starts, which is when you want your acceleration to happen. So if we look at the next champions meeting, I forget what the next one's called, but the next one's going to be a medium on a 2,200 meter turf Hanshin racetrack. We can see same conditions here. It's going to be like this. So if you think about Mruzinski's activates final corner, which, as you can see here, this is a two lap one, so it's kind of hard to see. But we start here, they go up all the way around, and your final corner, the fourth one's right here. Guess what? She activates it. It's at least in the late race, but it's a much later. But guess what? Seiun Sky, it's in a corner, late race starts, she will activate it immediately upon late race starting and accelerate much earlier than Mruzinski and Taiki Shuttles activates right here. And so she's just going to push through. If you're in first place, then activate it. You just push through, go through, and you're going to be at your top speed very quick and very likely going to win, because you're going to be taking off. Those gold ships, Narita Taishins, encroaching shadows, and straightaway spurts, especially like on this one, as you can kind of see, they're not going to be good here because this is a corner. Their straightaway spurts and stuff are useless. They're going to have to use something like Mruzinski's or Taiki Shuttles, or I think there might be something better by that point to use here as well. And so they're going to spurt much later. And so Seiun Sky is going to work, and you're going to see this on most of the racetracks. The late race will start right on a corner. And so that's why it's really good. And so that is kind of the big difference. It can be confusing on the wording because they both activate in a corner. It's just know that her strict condition of actually requiring it to be late race is very good. Versus Mruzinski's just requiring it to be the last corner, because she can either take off too early or too late. It just depends on when the last corner, when that actually is. And so that's pretty much the big difference between them. I thought I'd just kind of clear that up for the people who are thinking hers is not that good. But the big thing with it, it is basically like a win condition for your front runner. Just think about how quickly these gold ships and Rita Titans are taking off if you've done any practice races in Gemini Cup, where they're all the way in the back and they blast off and pass everybody going into that final lap. Now just think about that, but being in first place already, not having to pass everybody. You're just in first place, and you get that same kind of acceleration that we are seeing with our end closers now. That's basically what you're getting with Seiun's guy's ult here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to cover that to clear up any confusion on it. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else or any questions you had on it other than that. But yeah, if you like my content, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it really helps. And thanks for watching.